The Dvar Torah for Parashat Toldot is dedicated in loving memory of the 11 Kedoshim that were killed in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania this past Shabbat while they were in synagogue praying. May these words of Torah be a ilui for their neshama, and may their memories be blessed. This week's Parashat Toldot, Avraham sends Eliezer and he tells him, I want you to go find a son, I want you to go find a wife, libni Yitzchak, to my son, to Yitzchak. And he sends Eliezer all the way to Lavan, and he wants to find someone that his son Yitzchak can marry. And when he sends Eliezer, it's very interesting. He gives him a whole description, and then Eliezer later repeats that description to Lavan. But it's interesting to note the small differences between the way Avraham says it and the way Eliezer says it, and what that comes to teach us. One of those differences is that when Avraham tells Eliezer to find a wife for his son, he says, "V'lakachta isha libni leYitzchak." You should find a wife for who? For my son Yitzchak. And when Eliezer comes to Lavan, he says, "I want you to find a wife." Libni. He doesn't say Libni leYitzchak. And the question is, why doesn't he mention Libni leYitzchak, the unique character of Yitzchak, when he's speaking to Lavan? Why does he only mention the fact that Yitzchak is Abraham's son? Wouldn't it matter to speak of some of the individual qualities of the Chatan, the potential groom? And there's a beautiful explanation given by the Beit Halevi, Rabbi Yosef Dov Halevi Soloveitchik, who lived about 150 years ago. Rabbi Soloveitchik explains the following with a parable. Someone is a student in yeshiva, he's outstanding, he's righteous, he's learning all day, and so they want to find him what's called in the traditional world a Shidduch, a match. And so the matchmaker goes and he wants to see who can I set this young man up with. And he goes to the wealthiest man in town and he says, listen, I got the best guy for you. So there are two options. Either he can say, I have this guy who will be the next greatest rabbi, and he's really very learned and he spends all his day learning. Or he can say, he's the son of this great famous rabbi. Which one is better? And the Beit Halevi suggests that if he's speaking to someone who's interested just in the honorifics and not the actual qualities, then he'd be saying he's the son of. And that's what Eliezer does with Lavan. He comes to Lavan and he says, listen, I have for you the son of Avraham who's famous and well-known and everything. But when Avraham is sending Eliezer, he says, I want you to find the Bnei Yitzchak, the righteous Yitzchak, the Yitzchak that prays and studies and does good deeds. But that's not going to be a commodity for Lavan. Eliezer sees Lavan and he understands that this man is not going to be moved by Yitzchak's spiritual qualities. He's going to be moved by the greatness of the father Avraham, and that's why he just says "V'lakachta isha libni" and doesn't mention the actual characteristics of Yitzchak. Thank you so much for listening, and Shabbat Shalom.